What do you mean show me? You know them show me why?
Why? You lied.
Money's coming. Take care of you. Money's coming.
That's so superficial.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Tolulopesolutions. I film about faith, marriage, and lifestyle and motherhood.
That one went to school before. Anyway, welcome guys.
Welcome.
This is my husband, if you're new here. GBEMIGA, Pastor GBEMIGA, PG. Some people say PJ. It's PG, Pastor GBEMIGA, okay? And in today's video, we're going to be talking about money. Baby, where's the money? Give me
money.
Spray me the money. Spray me the money. Some people want to know how much is there, and I'm not going to show you everything. I'll show you everything, don't worry. Anyway,
Thanks.
Today, not quite today. Not quite. This one is my money. Anyway, today's video is, there is this general saying that obviously our generation, we have carried it on our head. We just don't say it as slangs. We run with it, okay? And it's the fact that my money as a woman is my money, but his money is our money. So we're here to shatter that line, reconstruct it, misconstrue anyone that is not whatever. But you guys, you get the picture. We just want to talk about it, and I'll let my husband start, because obviously let's even hear what the men have to say about this, because it's women that are always saying my money is my money. Men, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, cannot say my money is my money because without being told,
It's like
your money is all our money, right? So let's hear what you have to say about it.
Well, let's take it to the beginning. What is money? What is money really? Money is cash, funds, means of exchange, trade. We know the history.
Babe, we're not here for economics class.
I needed to set up precedents so that we would understand the purpose. Because if the purpose of a thing is not known,
Abuse is inevitable.
God bless the memory of Miles Monroe.
Amen.
So basically, money in itself.
Babe, watch the people you're talking to.
Money is not a public lecture, so sorry. Money in itself is meant to be like a means of exchange. It's currency, like they say, right? It's a means to an end, usually. What I'm trying to say is,
okay, please, what are you trying to say?
if you understand the value, or rather the use of money, I think it would help a lot of people in terms of how they handle it, especially in marriage relationships. If money starts to become something in your relationship that carries so much weight that you lose peace of mind over it, you have to quarrel unnecessarily over it, then there is already a fundamental problem, right? Because this whole issue of her money, my money, yes, there is the African culture in it as well, but even beyond the African culture, if you look in the Western world as well, we see that play out. I'm done with the preamble. What I'm trying to say is, money is a conversation that should happen in a marriage relationship, rather, is a conversation that should happen between two people. What do we want to, how do we see money? What is the purpose of the money that we're getting in this relationship? What is the aim? What are we trying to build? What are we trying to achieve? When there is a set goal, when the money starts to flow, then it is easier to channel it. We stop seeing the money as, it is your money, it is my money, it is, do you get? Because there is a goal in mind, right? So when the inflow comes and there is a structure already set up for how the money will be spent, it makes it easier. I think it just makes it easier for everybody.
So I feel like the first thing I heard you say was the fact that money should, like the reason for money should be known first, and both man and wife would have to understand that, okay, I'm going into marriage and money is not something that will be a problem in my marriage. Absolutely. Right? Two of them have to be on that page.
Absolutely.
I read something in the Bible yesterday, we all know it, that says that you cannot serve two masters, you cannot serve God and money. A lot of people have like glorified money over their partners, right? So that first foundation for me is the fact that we are one, and money is a tool for us.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's not something that something that you now allow money. Once you also know the purpose of that money, which I also heard you say, once you know the purpose of that money and your partner also does, it's easier for there to be a level playing field, and both of us know that when the money comes, this is what it's for. But I mean, today's video is even mostly about the secrecy. You know, yes, I might still have use for my money, but I don't want to tell my partner the use for my money. Solutions, don't worry, I understand the use of money. You don't have to tell me that, you know, but I don't want my husband to know. And I want to know all of his income, obviously, because he's responsible for this and that and that. But for me personally, I don't want my husband to know how much I earn, or even if he knows how much I earn, I don't want him to, like, I don't want to use my money for our family, whatever it is. I want to take care of the children, pay the rent, pay the children's school fees, buy food in the house, and still take care of me.
Yeah, there is a certain woke generation that would say, oh, as a woman, there's a certain woke generation, you know, that would say, oh, as a woman, you know, your husband's money is our money and your money is your money, you know, take care of yourself, you do you don't know if he has a bastard outside, you don't know, whatever, secure your future, secure the bag. I would take us back to the original intent of marriage, right? Once self starts to get magnified in a marriage relationship, there is already a problem. There is fundamentally a problem. If you check the history and the background of such thoughts, it usually comes from hurt people. And they say hurt people hurt people. So maybe someone who has been jilted by a husband, you know, her husband has done this and done that, and she's cascaded and passed that information down to her kids. Is it from a good place? Maybe she's trying to protect the future of her children. But what is the foundation of that thing? Is it in the scriptures? I don't think so.
It's definitely not in the scriptures.
I don't think
the Bible
so.
Says two have become one.
Absolutely.
So that's the original intent of God. Even like everything is on the table. Your money, my money, everything is on the table. Absolutely. But babe, the same way you don't want people to take the negative, it is also human beings that brought about the negative. It is one man somewhere that now saw that this woman is making money. Until this our money finishes, I will not let her rest. You know, there are irresponsible men like that.
Absolutely.
That their eyes are always tricky for their woman's money. Some people forget their responsibilities totally because they see that, okay, the woman is the one, like, oh, I think my earrings are making too much noise. But you know, because
jingle bells.
Wow, because the woman is the one that is like doing this and that, they now get laid back and forget their responsibility. So personally, I feel like one thing I want to say in that is know who you're with. You know, I feel like when you personally know somebody, their level of irresponsibility, their level of expenditure, some people literally spend all they have, even with their own personal money, right? Their level of show off, things like that. You need to know who you're with, know who you're dealing with, so that you can use wisdom. Because babe, in as much as we're also saying that that is God's original intention, we also know that people can get funny at times, right?
Yes.
But
the money especially.
Yeah, but the point of this really is to talk to both man and wife.
Absolutely.
So that it can be done God's way.
Absolutely.
Because God's way really involves transparency, and this is how we do in our marriage. Everything is on the table. When I hear sometimes people say, oh no, he's responsible for this, I don't care, even if he doesn't have it, I always try to reverse the roles. We're saying, oh, gender roles and all of that, feminism, I don't want to go into it, but a lot of times too, people forget like the fact that somebody is somebody's son as well. Like, how do you get, I'm saying all of this from conversations I've had with young people going into marriage especially, right? How do you get married already and you expect the guy who also graduated at the same time as you to already have a house in Lekki, a 3-bed in Lekki, to already drive like a what's the SUV, then to already have like millions in the bank, to then when you guys start having children, like, what is your contribution exactly? If you can contribute to make the overall picture better, is that not the point?
That's the point.
Now say no, I still want all of this, but at the same time not ready to put anything down. That is a selfish nature in itself.
Selfish,
because both of you are benefiting from it, and both of you are in this marriage together. Yeah,
absolutely. When you quoted that scripture of one shall chase 1,000 and two shall
I've
set,
not quoted that
oh
scripture.
sorry, I thought I heard you say, you know,
wow.
and two shall set 10,000 to flight.
Yeah.
What comes to my head is this movie 300. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie 300 about Spartans, right? There were just 300 men, and they were able to withstand thousands and thousands of soldiers that kept coming at them. Why? Because they were fighting as one unit. I just pictured this particular scenario where, you know, they had like their shields and their spears, and there was a time when one had to put a shield in front to protect the other, while the other one was using the spear to. That's how I see marriage. It's, if you're saying it's just me, I just want to spend my money, then what you're saying is, I'm not going to put my shield down, or I'm not going to put my spear down. Whatever happens is a man, for God's sake. Like, anything can happen. I'm not saying anything will happen, but I'm just saying that if it is a marriage relationship, you both are meant to have each other's backs. And that's what she said, right? The whole transparency thing, you know, we don't have a joint account, for instance. We don't have like a Mr. and Mrs. ADEJUMO joint account, at least not yet. But from the word, like from the get-go, we've always been very transparent with our funds. Do we both run private accounts? Yes. Do we do things that we want to do personally? Absolutely. But when it comes to anything that has to do with this marriage relationship, this family, everything is on the table. Because we're building something.
I totally agree with that. One thing though that I have to say in this light is, you see how we've said that women should forget that mentality of is money, and I like that reference you used, really, because there are seasons in people's lives, even you as a woman, there's sometimes that corona has happened, though inflow is not coming in as it should in my business, so babe, you know, what's up? Maybe there was a capital project you were doing and all of that, and
Nigerian government has not yet approved.
Everything has to be on the table so that, you know, there can be that on the same page. However, the same mentality of my money is my money is for women rather, is on the same place when men now feel like, since your money now is our money, so let's say the woman is even doing it right, the man will now become very relaxed and complacent. He does not really care about, you know, I know my wife got it. That is another problem I've seen a lot in this generation. So in that case, what should women do? Or maybe we should be talking to the men to say that it is unfair to put the weight of the whole financial burden on one person without, you know, pulling your weight in terms of, okay, what can I do? Is this side also? If both of us are saying, case in point, we want to start a business that is capital intensive, the business is going to cost 5 million naira, right? And the woman, I know that from her finances, maybe she can get in 6 months, she can get like half of it. Me as a man, maybe my own finances is just now enough to take care of everything in the house. I feel like without being told, that man should know that, okay, how can I pull my weight to bring in more cash, so that instead of that woman working for 12 months before she gets the 5 million, she can also work for 6 months. Do you get? So in as much as put everything on the table, both parties still have to be pulling their weight. Now this does not mean that, you know, one person would always be on top. The man's finances should always be different. Let's be honest, it's not always like that in all seasons. You know, sometimes it's this man's finances doing well, other times it's the woman's business that is booming more. That's the reality of life. However, once you are pulling your weight in every area, like I said, I was talking to someone the other day, and you know, it was around the, oh, my husband's job is just enough for us to get by, but I'm doing well, what can I do? And I'm like, to be honest, you can't keep secrets based on that, because he's working, he's trying. Even if he eventually gets a job in an oil company, what if you get a job in an oil company where you are still earning more? Exactly. Do you understand? But it's the fact that, okay, now that you are seeing that this is, our family is starting to leave that level of just the barest minimum getting by, we're engaging in a capital project, it too should now start to think of, what can I do to bring in money? Is it time to start applying, you know, for better jobs, so that, you know, this can move forward? Or sometimes it's even, how can I relieve my wife of some of the burden that she's bearing, you know, maybe in the house or whatever. Just be a party to it. It's not just, oh, you're still the man of the house, but you know, at the same time, the woman is the one getting the money, still coming back to do things for the children and things like that. So I feel like that's the balance. So it's a case of which one comes first.
The chicken or the egg?
Literally.
Then money marriage is something that I believe is very significant. Like I think one video cannot even do justice to it, because there's so many scenarios, there's so many like
sides.
You get like so many peculiarities as well. But if there's one thing I am learning, is the fact that as long as you have it in mind, to always want to outdo your partner in love. I'm not saying competition now, but like in love, you're trying to please your partner as much as you can. And this cascades into, I personally don't like using the word hustle, but it cascades into how you go about your work, how you think about your work, how you think about, how can I get more funds into this family, how can I help, what can I do, things like that. I think at the end of the day, in the process of trying to outdo each other, you both end up
living in an overflow.
Do you get me? Because there are a million excuses or a million peculiarities that can come up with this whole money thing. We'll just give them a few examples. Whatever your scenario is, right? If the underlying factor, the foundation is love, and trying to outdo your partner in terms of love, I think it would eventually
join. I believe so too. And I strongly believe that it's very important to look within and know what you want for yourself. And this is mostly to the single people who haven't gotten married. If you're dating somebody and you see that this person is utterly irresponsible with money, they are spending everything they have so that the gram can be satisfied, they are borrowing money, and that's, let's not even go into that. Like, they are borrowing money, they're doing this, and you cannot correct that person. You cannot stand up to the fact that I am not a party to this. I will not tolerate this. If this is the way you want to continue living your lifestyle, then watch me live. If you cannot stand up to it, please don't get married and now say, no, be doing your responsibility. My money is my money. And now be doing things like that. No, even if you do my money is my money, that person is going to keep on borrowing. It's going to keep
putting your family in jeopardy.
Sadly, I know somebody, I heard about somebody, and I know the person even that committed suicide because he was in so much debt. And if you had asked his wife, to be like, no, it's fine, everything is fine.
You're driving a good car, living in
so
nice
communication
house
on this matter from the onset is also very key. Know the person's finance. If somebody from when you're dating cannot tell you up front that this is how much I earn, and then you cannot have access to one or two things to confirm, then once the marriage comes and you start off on a foundation of secrecy, it's going to be hard to now want to get to that point where, we are open about marriage, my money is our money. I feel like your money should be our money, my money should also be our money. So somebody is probably watching and feels like, okay, but I'm in this marriage already, and then I know that my husband is irresponsible with money, either because he overspends or because he doesn't pull his weight so much in terms of bringing in money into the house, and the whole liability is on me. Every time I have money, he wants to spend it. What do you think someone in those shoes should do?
Wisdom is profitable to direct. You're in it already. What is the way out? That's the next question, right? So for me, the way out is, God has given you the opportunity or the privilege or the wisdom to be the sensible person. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to insult
I get you perfectly.
So it is the onus rests upon you now to build that family whilst trying to seek help, because it is easier when two people are building this thing than when one person is pulling the weight. So while you have the wisdom and the foresight, to invest and to make sure that your husband doesn't have access to those funds, you should also be actively looking to see how you can help him in terms of maybe reporting to someone he respects or getting therapy. He needs to sort it. That thing needs to be corrected and sorted, so that way he's able to match up with your energy, and then you can build your family even much more.
Because you're just staying on that, let me just choose the route of secrecy. Truth is, sometimes, don't you want your kids to go to good schools, personally, even as the woman? You will not say, I'm not going to answer him. So when it's time to pay school fees, sometimes if it's the irresponsible one on the other spectrum, you say, I don't have. Will you now say, okay, go to, there was a post on Instagram where someone complained about something similar, and they were comments. And to be honest, I even commented that maybe you should be buying, beef instead of goat meat. But I thought about it, that what if it's goat meat I really want to eat? I can work for my goat meat. And then you cannot now cook goat meat for the husband, for yourself, and then give him beef. Do you get? So I feel like you said, babe, it's communication. That's the first thing. Like, be constantly communicating to the person that this thing you're doing, you're literally suffering me. I am not happy. And if the person also loves you and has your best interest at heart, to be honest, they're going to start thinking about it, because it's just stress on one person to be the one like always doing it, always doing that, and they're just there faffing or showing off on the ground with Mercedes Benz and they went to borrow.
I mean, with their phone almost finished.
Oh God.
I mean,
You know, so it's important that, like you said, communicate about it. Find ways to build that person up. Now, it does not mean that because you want to always eat goat meat to now always be putting your finances. Sometimes you also have to make decisions that when you know it won't hurt you, especially when it is around him, don't empower him. Don't empower him to, oh, now I want to buy PS5. You know you cannot afford the PS5, or you now carry your money. Okay, buy PS5. No, now a sports baby will always be a sports baby if you don't pull out the rod sometimes. You know, so it's also knowing that balance as to, okay, sometimes obviously you know that if roles were reversed, maybe you will be looking to get better if roles were reversed, but he's not at that level yet. So right now, while he's not at that level, while you're seeking professional help, don't indulge him. Don't make him feel like I'm gonna just be balling for the rest of my life on this woman's energy. God forbid. Women, when they start to overwork themselves and stuff like that, you guys know all the things that can happen. It's not our portion over here. You know, so it's just important that you make sure that at every point in time you don't leave him behind to say, well, I'm giving up on you, because but it's still your family at the end of the day. It's better you're on this side of trying than just, you know, train in the tower and be like, I'm going to have my own. If you like, it's your life.
If there's that person that is watching this video, the guy that is watching this video, please, I'm begging you, if you truly love your family, if you truly love your wife, you can do better. Don't say, oh, I've been like this all my life. You can always change. Ask God for help. Like we said earlier, it is easier and it is better when both of you are on the same frequency and you're building the family together. Don't you know, own your own. Don't let the weight rest upon your wife and you're being irresponsible. There's no pleasure. Scripture says that a man that is unable to provide for his family is worse than an infidel. Do you know what that means? So you need, I almost said amen. Yeah. So you know, you need to also pull your weight. Do not allow your wife or your spouse, you know, to feel like she's alone in this marriage. It is two people that came together to become one. Don't be the half or the quarter rather.
Leave one person to be half a quarter. You know. Then I feel like I need to also say this for the women. Maybe like your husband is a baller, is doing well, and all of that. Truth is, if you know the source of his funds, like if he's actually legit, right? It's not the person borrowing money or in debt for the gram. Let me come to that. But if his funds are legit and you feel like you're comfortable enough to that place where you can be a, you know, full housewife, you actually don't need to contribute anything, then I mean, that's great for you. Your value can be in managing his finances for him. Just make sure that in a way or another, you're just bringing some value on the table, because I know how men can be as well when they feel like they're leaving you behind. You are even nothing to all you ask is money. Even the richest men can feel like that. I'm not saying maybe your husband feels like that, but they can have that vibe of, you want to do this, money. Find a way. See, the richest people in this world actually need people. They need solutions. So find something you can do as the wife to,
we need solutions.
Even if it's to expand the scope of business, you know, to help him to make his life better, something valuable, right?
Manage funds, for that, put yourself on salary.
Yeah, exactly. And then for that person that is now doing, you know, that is maybe doing Yahoo, illegit money, or I said what I said, you know, or is borrowing money and all of that, and you feel like, oh, I can be here, I can just be doing anyhow. Well, when the day of reckoning comes, don't call us, so please enjoy the money now, but be mindful that, you know, you're even exploiting people at the, like, you're doing something, you're not making money legally. Like, how else do I want to say that one? And there are fruits that will come out from this seed you're sowing, right? So think on. That's what I'm trying to say. But I feel like that's it.
There's a woman of God that I just want to say lastly to our single people, you know, looking to get married. There was a woman of God that I watched recently, and she said, don't just marry potential, marry patterns. You know, so it's these things pop up while you're dating. You know, if for me, you can go and quote me anywhere, I would say it. You know, if you're with someone who is unwilling to change while you're dating, chances are they will be unwilling to change while you're married. You brought up money issues while you were dating, and they make you feel like a fool in the process of having the conversation, or they like bluntly say, "Alaye, day your day, make a day my day." That's potentially a problem. That is a pattern. You have seen a spending pattern or a behavioral pattern that might not change. So except you're willing to deal with it, no problems, but you can see it already. So I mean, don't set yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah. And on a very lighter note, I saw something on the blog yesterday where they said that the lady, she was ranting that you called me out on a date. I used 7K Uber to get there.